So ghetto life is what we know to be survival of the fittest. My name is Olivia, only daughter of my parents. My parents decided to have just one child due their financial status. My dad was a carpenter in Ajegunle, and my mom trades at the market at Boundary, Apapa, Lagos. Currently, I am student in the University of Lagos. It hasn't been easy in school. In my second year, my mom got sick, and all finances were used for her medical bills, and my family really went broke. I had to work part-time jobs to sustain myself in school and also assist my dad with the bills because my mom stopped trading. During my hunt for a part-time job, I got lucky. I was employed by a woman who stays abroad but needed a house help for her son, someone who will take care of the house, cook and run errands while she returned to the States. Alongside a very good and substantial salary, I was given a room in their house to stay, and also the job didn't affect my studies. Alex was the name of my boss's son. Alex was a tall, fair-skinned guy in his late 20s. He was the CEO of a tech company in Lagos, a well-principled guy who is always busy and didn't have time to mingle. Before his mom left for the States, she had given me an extra task to let her know when her son has started bringing any girl to his house, and also if I suspect that he is in a relationship. His mom have tried several times to hook him up with some nice girls, but Alex is too busy to play around. As I moved into the house, it was dinner time and Alex just returned home. His mom then introduced me as his new house help. While she did the introduction, my gaze met his cold stare. It was as if he was reading into my soul. Many thoughts ran through my mind, but my thoughts was interrupted by his deep, masculine voice as he said, "Nice to meet you, Olivia." I stuttered, "And sir, the pleasure is mine, sir." I started working and also going for my classes. 2 weeks after I started working, my boss traveled to the States, but before she traveled, she said, "I've only known you for 2 weeks, but I like you. I wish my son will get a girl that is well-mannered and handles a home good as you do." I smiled and told her that everything I learnt it from my mom. She was pleased, and she said she knows her son is in good hands. Then she traveled. Alex was barely at home. Sometimes he works overtime and skips dinner. One day, surprisingly, Alex didn't go to work as usual, and he was in bed till 10 a.m. This was unusual, so I knocked on his door and he asked me to enter. When I did, I saw him in a bad state. He was ill and I was so worried. He told me he had contacted his doctor, but in the meantime I got a clean towel and water, and I moped his body to cool down his temperature. When I was done, I started telling him stories and jokes to occupy his mind while we waited for the doctor. This was the first Alex and I have spent time together, and it was fun. He looks cold, but he has a warm heart. When the doctor arrived, I wanted to excuse him for the checkup, but Alex asked me to stay and keep him company. It felt good that we were finally getting along. I took care of him throughout his medication period, and we played games to keep his mind off work. He also helped me out with some school difficulties. After a few weeks, I noticed I developed feelings for Alex. I didn't want to ruin what we had, so I tried as much as possible to keep it within me. As time passed, Alex and I were now more of flatmates than boss and employee. One day during our time out in the house, Alex and I got talking, and he suddenly asked me if I was in a relationship. Stunned by this question, I answered, "No, not really." He then asked why. I was skeptical as to why he is asking out of the blues, but since I was comfortable around him, I told him I've not found my ideal guy yet. Then he asked, "What's your ideal guy like?" I was so shy at this point, the answer echoed in my head, "It's you, Alex," but I couldn't bring myself to say it. I then diverted the question to him. "I have never seen you with any girl, why?" He smiled and said, "I've been too busy that I don't pay attention to my love life, but currently, a girl has caught my attention, unlike any girl I have been with. She's beautiful, intelligent, and very skillful, and I don't know if I can have her." I felt disappointed and pained to hear that he already had a girl he was crushing on, though I tried to hide my disappointment and kept on smiling, but I felt strangely pained and blamed myself for getting my hopes high. I just replied, "You will never know if you can have her unless you ask." After the conversation, we went to our separate rooms, and then I called my boss to inform her that he has found a girl but hasn't had the courage to ask her. Then my boss gave me an assignment to find out and let her know the kind of girl she is. That night I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't understand why I found it difficult to sleep. I never knew how deep I had fallen for Alex until this night. I was so pained and I wished I hadn't loved him from the beginning. Strangely, 2 days after that, someone knocked at the door. And on this day, Alex took a day off to rest. When I opened the door, it was a tall, fair-skinned lady. Her beauty was so out of this world she wasn't on makeup, but her skin was still glowing. She has a good figure and she spoke so calmly with a sweet voice. "Hi, my name is Christiana and I'm here to see Alex. He is expecting me." Cold shivers ran down my spine and I stared at her, stunned by her aura. So, this is the mystery girl because Alex have never invited any friend home. Talk less of a lady, I thought to myself. I responded slowly. "Hold on, let me notify him." She said, "Okay." As I shut the door, I felt my body temperature rising as different thoughts ran across my head. I am nothing compared to Christiana. I was happy for Alex regardless, so I went to the room to notify Alex. I then returned to my room to wallow in my pain, like share and comment for part 2.